What's up, addicts? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. In this video, we are breaking down Joe Burrow and his potential fantasy outlook heading into the 2020 season. Hey, before we get started, if you guys are interested in videos like this, we'll be breaking down all of the fantasy relevant players heading into 2020. So hit that like and subscribe button for more content. Also, check out our website at thefantasyaddictionnetwork.com, and you guys can access our pre-draft and in-season rankings for free if you sign up now. So check that out. But without further ado, let's look at Joe Burrow a bit further. All right, so coming in to the NFL, number one overall pick, super hyped up, and lots of people excited about Joe Burrow, and with good reason. If you weren't paying attention to what he did last year at LSU, let's recap a little bit of the phenomenal season that he had. Passing yards, he had 5,671, 60 passing touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, 368 rushing yards, and 5 touchdowns. Wins the Heisman, wins the national championship, and plays for the undefeated 15-0 LSU Tigers, who had arguably the best offensive production season of any college team of all time. And that had a lot to do with Joe Burrow. I mean, leading the helm there, taking leadership, multiple games where it looked like he was going to end up, leaving by getting hurt, but he found a way to grit through it and continue to play strong. One of the most accurate seasons of any passer ever, and just setting records all over the board. So there's a lot to be excited about with Joe Burrow. Now, there's definitely some pause. I understand why some people might be a little bit skeptical, because he only did this for 1 year. When you look back, he started his college career in Ohio State, playing behind Dwayne Haskins, was never able to jump him on the depth chart, transfers in his junior year, goes to LSU, and his junior year was not that solid in terms of production. It was okay, but it was nothing spectacular. So very, very, very few people expected a Heisman type season. So anyone that bet on Joe Burrow before the season started probably made a good deal of money, and I just don't know how many people actually did that, because he was just such an unknown. So he came out of nowhere and jumps up, and now he is the number one overall draft pick. But he gives the Bengals a lot more excitement and energy and juice from what they had last year. Andy Dalton didn't really give them much in the way of efficiency, and Ryan Finley definitely didn't give them anything but throwing under 50% completion. So Joe Burrow coming in, all he needs to do in this first season is give the Bengals a little something to light their fire, and they'll continue to grow from there. But in the draft, they also worked to improve his offensive weapons by drafting T. Higgins and focusing on the defense, which was also pretty bad. So while we're not expecting Joe Burrow to turn the Bengals into a playoff team in his first year, I am expecting a much better overall team with Joe Burrow leading the way. Now, looking at a couple other stats from Joe Burrow, just to reinforce again how great his season was last year. He had a college quarterback rating of 94.9, which was 99th percentile. In 2019, he had yards per attempt of 10.8, which is 97th percentile. Again, that 60-6 touchdown to interception ratio. Gets to play against the 13th best strength of schedule against the pass, so a little bit above average. Not having to play against tougher defenses should at least give him a little bit of time to be able to develop as a quarterback in the NFL. So we're expecting him to be able to progress nicely as the season goes on. Obviously, with everything going on right now with the pandemic, we're not really sure how much off-season training they'll get in. It's looking like they're not really going to be able to do anything as a team until training camp, but I'm sure Joe Burrow is working with people on the side. So when we actually get into his projections, looking back at the history of other rookie quarterbacks coming in, we're not expecting like a barn burner season by any means. We have him projected just under 4,000 passing yards, passing touchdowns going up to 26, interceptions, you have him throwing 13, about 238 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So this would put him right about the middle of the quarterback 2 category. We're expecting this team to run the ball a good bit more. We'll get into that in our Joe Mixon video, but expecting a really good year from Joe Mixon, and that would likely lend to them not throwing the ball nearly as much with Joe Burrow. What we're hoping for with Joe Burrow is that he can at least keep this team in games. I think it was something like the Bengals were on average trailing by 7 points in the the entire season last year. So hopefully Joe Burrow can at least keep them a little bit more competitive. They'll be able to run the ball a little bit more, and they probably won't have to rely on him too heavily in this first year. And overall, we just haven't seen many rookie quarterbacks come in and blow the lid off of the fantasy community in their first year. So while he definitely has the ability to do better than this projection, probably not going to be drafting him too much in 2020. We're more excited about what he does for this team in total and what he brings to this offense. It definitely is going to lift and rise the tide for the other guys in terms of the pass catchers and especially Joe Mixon. So excited to see what Joe Burrow can do in the NFL. Really happy to see his career projection just completely turn around. It's a really awesome story, and I hope that he's able to succeed in the NFL, and I'm excited to see what he can do for the Cincinnati Bengals. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, hit that like and subscribe button for more videos like this one, and we'll see you guys in the next video.